Hello and welcome to this quick refresher video on how to graph one variable inequalities. Now, ever since probably grade school, you've seen these little things. In fact, I always had a teacher that would graph these inequalities with teeth, and they call them alligator teeth, and there'd be blood coming out, and ooh. Anyway, these are called inequalities. When it's pointed to the right, it's a greater than inequality. When it's pointed to the left, it's a less than inequality. And if there's a line underneath it, it means that it can be equal to as well. For example, we know that 5 is greater than 3 and 17 is less than 21. We often use this representation to compare two numbers. It's important to know that all inequalities can be flipped. If I was to flip this inequality, 5 is greater than 3, I could put 3 on the left side and 5 on the right side, but I would have to flip the sign. So it would no longer be greater than, it would be less than. 3 is less than 5. These both mean the exact same thing. 5 is greater than 3, or 3 is less than 5. This one can be flipped as well. I can put 21 on the left side and 17 on the right side, but I'd have to flip the inequality. It wouldn't be less than, it would be greater than. In algebra, we use inequalities to represent an entire set of numbers that could be possible. For example, in my bank account, I know that I have less than $100. Well, this represents a lot of different possibilities. I could have 99, I could have 98, I could have 22, I could have -7. I just know that x is less than 100. Again, we use inequalities to represent lots of possibilities. Lots of possibilities. And this is a cool way of doing it. However, often in math, we want to do things graphically as well. And so in this video, I want to talk to you about how you would graph x is less than 100. So let's look at the procedures. Step number 1, you need a variable on the left sides. I do have that. X is on the left side here. The next thing I need to do is graph a number line. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to draw a straight line. And in my number line, I'm going to write 100 here in the middle. And here's 99, and here's 98, and here's 101, and here's 102, and so on. Cool. The next thing I need to do is decide what type of point I'm going to use. There's two types of points when graphing inequalities. There's closed points and then open points. This is called a closed, and this is open. And we use these depending on what type of inequality we have. If it's an equal to, then we're going to use closed. For example, if on this one here, it's greater than or equal to, so I would use a closed dot. When it's greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, we're going to use a closed dot. And if it's not equal to, that's when we use an open dot, because the actual value is not a solution. For example, in this one, when I said I know in my bank account it's less than $100, I know that I do not have $100 there because I didn't say it's less than or equal to. Okay, good. So in this one, if I'm graphing x is less than 100, I'm going to put an open dot on 100. Open dot because it's not equal to. You then need to decide which way to shade. If it's less than, you go to the left, and if it's greater than, you go to the right. So this is less than, and so I'm going to shade to the left here because I know all the possibilities in my bank account are less than 100, and this is how I represent it graphically. Okay, so it's your turn to try these three problems. Number 1 here we have x is greater than or equal to -3. Number 2 we have x is greater than 7. And on number 3 we have 4 is greater than x. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can't graph these three linear inequalities. Okay, let's do it. Hopefully you had a chance to do it. If not, make sure to pause that video. Let's go. I'm going to draw -3 here. Let's see, the next number would be -2 and -1. And down here we'd have -2 and -1. So draw a number line. And step number 1 is get the variable on the left side. It's already on the left, so that's good. I drew the number line. That's good. I need to decide what kind of point this is. It's an equal to, so therefore I'm using a closed dot. Let's use a different color here. Closed dot, and then I need to decide if I'm going to shade to the left or to the right. This is greater than, and when it's greater than, you shade to the right. Another way of maybe thinking of this is you just shade the way it's pointing. Notice how this is pointing to the right. Now that's why it's really important to get the variable on the left side, because this rule would only work if x is on the left side. Okay, cool. Let's try the next one. We have x is greater than 7. So I'm going to draw step number 1, get it on the left side. It's on the left. Now draw a number line. So I've got 7. Here's 6. Here's 8. I'm going to use a closed or open dot. Ooh, it's greater than. It's not equal to, so it can't be 7. So I use an open dot. And I'm going to shade, let's see, pointing this way to the right. Both those point to the right. Cool. Number 3 is a little trickier. You got to follow step number 1 to start off. It says you got to get the variable on the left side. It's on the right now, so I'm going to flip this. I'm going to move the x here and the 4 here, but when I flip an inequality, I got to change the sign. Okay. Now we're ready to graph the number line. We have the number 4. I'm going to put 4 in the middle here. I would put 5 here, and 6 here, and 3 here, and 2 here. I need to decide what type of point I'm going to use. This is not equal to, so it's going to be an open dot. And because it's less than, that's pointing to the left, I need a shade to the left. Excellent. Okay, thanks for watching this quick refresher video on one variable inequalities.